Don't become a software engineer. I know that sounds crazy coming from me, who is a software engineer, but hear me out. I went to a coding boot camp in 2020 and got a job immediately. 3 of my friends went to the same boot camp in 2023, and none of them are software engineers today. One quit halfway through, the other 2, they finished, spent months applying to jobs they couldn't land anything, and eventually went back to their old careers. The path that worked for me is dead, but there's a faster, easier path that nobody's talking about, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is. If you're thinking about becoming a software engineer right now, whether through a boot camp, self-teaching, or going back to school for a CS degree, you need to hear this. The landscape completely changed in 2023, and what used to be a guaranteed path to remote work and good money is now not. Here's what's happening. Coding boot camps are literally shutting down. The ones that are still open, they're churning out graduates who can't find jobs. My friends paid $20,000 each. One quit halfway through, the other 2 finished the program but eventually went back to their old careers. And it's not because they weren't smart or didn't work hard, it's because AI changed everything. In this video, I'm going to show you why software engineering is the wrong path for beginners in 2025 and what you should learn instead. Something you can pick up in 1 or 2 months for free that will let you start your own business and get your first client paying you $5,000 a month way faster than any bootcamp grad. Let's get into it. The bootcamp path worked in 2020. It doesn't work in 2025. Let me tell you my story. I came from digital advertising, zero technical background. I was burnt out, stuck in a corporate job I hated, and I kept hearing about people who went to these coding boot camps and immediately got 6-figure remote jobs. It sounded like a dream. So I did it. I went to a boot camp in 2020, 6 months of intense learning, and you know what? It worked. I got hired almost immediately. Everyone I knew from my cohort got jobs. It felt like magic. It felt like the secret path to remote freedom. Now fast forward to 2023. 3 of my friends are in the exact same position I was, burnt out, wanting to change careers. They asked me about boot camps and I told them about my experience. They signed up, they're excited, they think it's their ticket out. Friend number 1 quits halfway through, $20,000 gone. Friend number 2 and 3, they push through, they finish the program, they're proud of themselves, they start applying to jobs. 6 months go by, nothing. They can't land a single offer. Eventually, they both go back to their old careers, the same jobs they were trying to escape. So what happened between 2020 and 2023? Why did the same path that worked for me fail for them? Here's the truth. In 2020, there weren't enough software engineers. Companies were desperate. They were hiring bootcamp grads left and right because they needed software engineers. If you could build a basic app, you were valuable. But in 2025, there are too many software engineers. The market is completely flooded, and companies don't need junior level developers anymore. They need senior engineers who know how to use AI tools like Cursor, Claude, and GitHub Copilot. Here's what happened. AI coding assistants became mainstream. Now about 90% of code is AI generated. Engineers just direct the AI. They talk to it like they're talking to a really smart assistant. So companies are thinking, why would I hire a junior developer that needs 6 months of training and hand-holding when I can hire a senior engineer who can use AI to do the work of 3 or 4 people? The math doesn't make sense anymore for juniors. The brutal math is coding boot camps cost $15,000 to $25,000. They take 6 to 12 months of your life. There's no job guarantee. Many boot camps are literally closing because they can't find enough students or place their graduates. If you're thinking about a boot camp right now, stop. Do not do it. There's a better way, and I'm going to show you what it is. AI made software engineering harder, not easier for beginners. You might be thinking, if AI makes coding easier, shouldn't it be easier to become a software engineer now? That's what I thought too. But here's the paradox. When you're learning to code with AI assistance from day one, you become completely dependent on it. You're not learning to solve problems. You're learning to prompt an AI to solve the problems for you, which means you never develop the fundamental skills to debug code, architect systems, or think like an engineer. You're basically learning to be a really good prompter, not a software engineer. And companies know this. They don't want someone who can ask Claude to write code. They want someone who can lead Claude, someone who can catch its mistakes, optimize its solutions, review its architecture decisions. That requires years of experience, not 6 months in a boot camp where you used AI as a crutch the whole time. So here's what's actually happening. Entry-level software engineering jobs are disappearing. Companies are hiring fewer junior engineers and way more senior engineers who can leverage AI to multiply their productivity. The barrier to entry just got higher, not lower. The path you're chasing, it's closing right in front of you. So let's talk about the better path. Okay, so if not software engineering, then what? Here's what you should learn instead. Automation, specifically a tool that I love called N8N. Let me explain what it is and why it's the right move. N8N is a workflow automation platform. Think of it like connecting Lego blocks, except the blocks are apps, APIs, and different services. You can build incredibly powerful automations without writing traditional code. It's mostly no code, with light coding when you need it, which you'll be able to pick up naturally as you go. This is why N8N is the right move. First, the learning curve is 1 to 2 months instead of 1 to 2 years. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need to understand algorithms or data structures. You just need to understand the basics. How do APIs work? How do different apps talk to each other? How do you connect them? You can learn all of this in a few weeks by watching free YouTube tutorials. That's it. Second, you can start making money immediately. You don't need to apply for jobs. You don't need to pass technical interviews. You start your own business day one. Third, there's massive demand from small businesses. Every local business has a repetitive task they absolutely hate doing. Real estate agents manually entering their leads into the CRM, accountants copying and pasting data between Excel and QuickBooks, marketing agencies manually scheduling social media posts, service businesses sending the same follow-up emails over and over. They will pay you to automate this stuff. We're talking $1,000 to $5,000 per automation. And if you manage it for them ongoing, that's recurring monthly revenue. Fourth, you can start while you still have a job. Learn N8N at night or on the weekends. Build automations for your own job first. Automate Excel reports. Auto-sync your spreadsheets. Build custom workflows that make your current job easier. Then you approach local businesses and say, hey, I automated my own job and saved myself 10 hours a week. Want me to do the same for you? Now you have proof. Now you have a case study, and now you can charge. So let's talk about the game plan to get started. Month 1, watch N8N tutorials on YouTube. They're completely free. Learn basic API concepts, maybe 15 to 20 hours of total learning. Build 2 or 3 practice automations for yourself. Automate something in your own life or job. Then, in month 2, identify 5 to 10 local businesses in your area that have obvious repetitive tasks. reach out to them and offer to build them one free automation as a demo to show them what's possible. Turn one or two of those demos into paying clients, could be $1,000 to $5,000 each. Month 3 and beyond, scale up to 3 to 5 clients. Start charging monthly management fees, $500 to $1,000 per client to maintain and optimize their automations. Now you're making $5,000 to $10,000 a month as a solo entrepreneur. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You're going to need to hustle. You're going to need to learn. You're going to need to sell your services. But compare that path to this. $20,000 for a boot camp, 6 months of intensive school, 6 more months applying to jobs with no guarantee. Maybe you get hired at $70,000 to $80,000 if you're one of the lucky ones, versus $0 starting cost. 2 months of learning. You own your own business. $5,000 a month in possibly 3 months. Which path actually makes sense? Okay, so let's talk about how to get started right now. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but where do I actually start? I've got you covered. In the description of this video, I've included a link to a Claude AI prompt that will act as your personal N8N teacher. Think of it like having a patient instructor who can always answer your questions, walk you through concepts step by step, help you troubleshoot problems, and even review your workflows. You can ask things like, how do I connect Google Sheets to Gmail? Or walk me through creating my first automation. Or why isn't this workflow working? It's like having a mentor available 24/7 while you're learning. Now click the link below in the description, paste the prompt into Claude, and you'll have your N8N teacher ready to go. It's completely free to use and it will dramatically speed up your learning process. Here's the before and after of watching this video. Before, you thought software engineering was your ticket to freedom. You were ready to spend $20,000 in 6 to 12 months on a boot camp. You thought that was the only way. Now, you realize that path is closing for beginners in 2025. But there's a better path, one that's faster, cheaper, and has way less gatekeeping. You can learn N8N automation, build a solo business, and start getting paid in a fraction of the time. The goal was never become a software engineer. The goal was work remotely, make good money, have flexibility, and control your time. N8N gets you there faster. Don't chase a 2020 solution in the world of 2025. The game has changed. You have to change with it. If you're serious about this, here's what to do next. 1. Go to YouTube right now and search N8N tutorial for beginners. Start learning today, not tomorrow, today. 2. Think about 1 repetitive task in your current job that you could automate. Just 1. Build that automation this week. 3. I'm building more content around N8N automation, solo entrepreneurship, and building a business without needing to become a traditional software engineer. If you want more of this content, subscribe to this channel and drop a comment below telling me what you want to learn next. Let's build together.